Support for Colorado Today comes from Safeway, where you can shop online and get easy delivery or free pickup. Get the same prices, deals, and rewards as in-store. Shop the weekly ad, clip deals, and earn points at Safeway.com or in the Safeway app.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Credit Union of Colorado. With access to over 30,000 ATMs and a mobile app, they're dedicated to offering the services of a big bank with a heart. Learn more at honestlygood.org.
If you had to pull out your shovel this weekend, you know that this snowstorm finally gave Colorado a little taste of winter, even if it's fading fast. By Sunday night, much of the high country had more than a foot of fresh powder. Vail reported 14 inches, and Breckenridge, Wolf Creek, and Purgatory were not far behind, all of which is nice. But it'll take a lot more to catch up after such a dry start to the season. Right now, much of Colorado is in some level of drought, with the central and northern mountains in the worst shape. But there is good news. State officials say that reservoirs are in decent shape overall. They also warn, however, that if storms don't really ramp up over the next couple of months, spring could start looking a lot more concerning. I'm Arlo Perez Esquivel. Coming up, as the nation reckons with the actions of federal migration agents, Colorado voters will decide if the state should cooperate more with ICE.
We need to make sure that we're working with the federal authorities in order to deport people who commit violent crimes.
Then everybody poops. But can a high-tech approach to cow poop help fight climate change?
So it'd basically be like pressing rewind on fossil fuel extraction.
Plus, a psychedelic cumbia that reminds you never to give up.
It's kind of a battle song. It's more of a battle cry, really.
It's Tuesday, January 27th. Here's the news in Colorado today. Do you want Colorado's law enforcement to communicate more with ICE? That's the question headed to your ballot this fall. It would require local law enforcement to notify federal authorities if they arrest someone and can't determine whether they're legally allowed to be in the country. They would only need to do that in violent cases or if the person arrested has a felony record. It was backed by Advance Colorado, the same group that pushed for more police funding 2 years ago. They now have several more measures on tap for the November election.
The second thing is getting rid of sanctuary state status for violent criminals and repeat felons. We need to make sure that we're working with the federal authorities in order to deport people who commit violent crimes.
Currently, the state strictly limits when local law enforcement can ask about someone's immigration status and when they can share that information with federal authorities. Some prosecutors say that can get in the way of justice when ICE deports people before they face charges. When ICE agents detained 9 people in Eagle County last week, they reportedly left something disturbing behind. Custom-printed Ace of Spades cards with the address of the Immigration Detention Center in Aurora.
Family members, we were asking, is this a business card? Is this the address where our loved ones are being taken? That was sort of their first questions to us.
Alex Sanchez is with the civil rights group Voces Unidas.
And so they showed us the cards, and we quickly recognized the symbolism behind it.
American troops in Vietnam used the Ace of Spades as a kill card, leaving them on the bodies of the Viet Cong soldiers they'd killed.
We also has been well documented in terms of how white supremacist groups have also used some of the symbolism, and now it came to our community.
After Sanchez posted about the cards, a Department of Homeland Security spokesperson told CPR the agency unequivocally condemns this type of officer conduct and that supervisors swiftly addressed the issue but provided no further details. I don't know about you, but I feel that I've heard all kinds of different ideas about how to tackle climate change, from the simple and practical, like improving recycling, to the seemingly absurd, like dimming the sun. Well, there's a new idea being proposed in Weld County, and I'll let you decide whether it passes the smell test. To keep carbon out of the air, a startup wants to collect cow manure and inject it a mile underground. CPR Sam Brash is here to tell us more. Sam, I'm told this isn't your first poop story.
Yeah, I've been here a decade. I learned a long time ago that poop sells, man. People just love reading about excrement.
So let's get to the dirty details. Why bother putting cow manure underground?
So cow manure is made out of carbon that's been pulled from the atmosphere by plants, eaten by cows, and then they poop it out, and it still is mostly carbon. And as that poop decomposes, it releases methane, which is a really potent greenhouse gas. When you look at a rural county like Weld County, northeast of Denver, they have a ton of cows making a lot of manure that normally ends up sitting in these big piles or effluent ponds that release methane as it decomposes or as it's applied to fields as fertilizer. And also, while it's stored, it poses a risk to waterways and water quality. So there could be a lot of benefits to finding a better way to deal with all that poop.
So, Vaulted Deep, that's the company who's behind this project. Tell me about them and specifically how they plan to do all of this.
So Vaulted Deep is a Houston-based climate startup, and their plan is pretty simple. They want to collect all the waste, turn it into a slurry, and inject it about 6,000 feet underground.
I hate that you used the word slurry.
Sorry. It's literally, that is the technical name for this stuff.
Now, they make it sound very simple, but I can't imagine putting anything a mile below the Earth's surface is simple in any way.
It's not, but it's actually really reminiscent of oil and gas drilling. The plan is to drill 8 wells at the site they've selected in Weld County near Wiggins, Colorado, to dig a mile down and then use technology similar to fracking to open up cracks in this really deep bedrock. A big question a lot of people have whenever I bring this up is like, what about the groundwater? And the company says, well, this is way below any drinking water sources. We're going deep, deep, deep into the earth. And once you do that, it could lock away this carbon that's contained within the manure for millennia. So it'd basically be like pressing rewind on fossil fuel extraction, at least according to the company.
Wow. Have they ever done something like this before?
Yeah, they have. So they actually spun out of a waste management company that is using the same technique to sequester about a quarter of Los Angeles's biosolid waste. So that's human sewage underground. And they've since opened another facility in Hutchinson, Kansas that's doing the same thing.
What about the money? I mean, I can't imagine farmers have a lot of extra cash to deal with their manure in such a, high-tech way.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. They would probably pay disposal fees to Vaulted Deep, but then the main source of revenue here is actually the tech industry. The AI boom has created a huge spike in energy demand from data centers. We've already talked about that on this show. Those facilities require massive amounts of water and electricity. So you have tech giants like Microsoft and Google looking for ways to offset their carbon footprints. Vaulted Deep is offering one of those. They're selling carbon credits to this company, and if this project in Weld County goes through, the idea is that it could be one way to make atmospheric cleanup really work as like a business proposition, really make sense in terms of dollars and cents.
Okay, but that practice of buying carbon credits, it's often been criticized as greenwashing for companies' carbon footprint. So are these tech companies just trying to save face here, or could this method actually help with climate change?
That's a really good question, and I think it's both. There's definitely a PR benefit for these tech companies who have become really big polluters. At the same time, we've released so many climate warming emissions that scientists pretty much all agree that we're going to need a ton of carbon removal in the decades to come to maintain a safe and somewhat livable atmosphere.
For the residents in Weld County, when do they start seeing construction happen? Is there a clear timeline?
Not quite yet. It's going to be a while. So the EPA is reviewing a couple documents submitted by Vaulted Deep back in 2024. There will be a public comment period before those are approved. And then Weld County also needs to review the company's plans. And so Vaulted Deep plans to hold a town hall up in Weld County sometime this coming summer.
CPR Sam Brash, thank you.
Thank you.
This week's news cycle has been exhausting, and it's only Tuesday, so I want to end today by pivoting away from the news and get a lift from some music. This time, it comes from Denver band The Savage Blush with a psychedelic cumbia-style song written in Spanish. The name of the song, though, is indigenous. It's called Mapachli.
We have a very Latin background, so we've always had kind of that kind of style in the music. But this one, I wanted something that was more within psychedelic cumbia vein of things. I'm Rebecca Williams from The Savage Blush, and I play the guitar and sing. I feel like the songs are always, especially lyrically, they're not really stories. I think I write very metaphorically. It's kind of a battle song. It's more of a battle cry, really. Mapachli is a Nahuatl word. It's a Mexican indigenous language. And that word means to take with one's hands. So it's very metaphorical in that, but you can do it. Don't give in, don't give up. You're always going through something. And not to let the internal or external, get you down. Sort of stand up for yourself, fight for yourself. I think I always hope that people were more curious about it, especially if you don't speak Spanish. And even if you do, you're kind of like, what does that mean? Or at least that they can listen enough to think about how just the song as a whole kind of makes you feel. I think that's the only thing I care about, period, bottom line, is how this can make someone feel anything, just anything.
That's Rebecca Williams of The Savage Blush talking about the band's song Mapachli. The Savage Blush has been a featured local 303 artist with Indie 1023. Additional reporting for today's show came from CPR's Stephanie Wolf and Allison Sherry. Follow Colorado Today in your podcast app and leave us a review. I'm Arlo Perez Esquivel. This is CPR News.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Safeway, where you can shop online and get easy delivery or free pickup. Get the same prices, deals, and rewards as in-store. Shop the weekly ad, clip deals, and earn points at Safeway.com or in the Safeway app.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Credit Union of Colorado. With access to over 30,000 ATMs and a mobile app, they're dedicated to offering the services of a big bank with a heart. Learn more at honestlygood.org.